In a recent freestyle, Jay-Z went nuclear on everybody that had words for him, except the biggest voice of all.
Yo, Jay-Z better not respond to Drake. Man, tell that old write his obituary or eulogy. He better not.
Akademiks is not as big of a target as Drake, Ye, or Nicki, but he's considerably bigger than other people like Gilly, Oskino, Jaguar Wright, and several others that caught some strays. And when you break down the ongoing battles between Akademiks and Roc Nation, you'll see how Jay-Z certainly views him as a threat, but has strategically decided not to mention him at all. For many years, Akademiks has been one of the most vocal critics of Jay-Z and Roc Nation, and particularly how they handled a situation with Tory Lanez and the management of their biggest artist at the time, Megan Thee Stallion. In 2022, Akademiks pointed out that Megan Thee Stallion appeared to be getting preferential treatment over Meek Mill, who had parted ways with Roc Nation following the collapse of the Dream Chasers imprint label he had launched alongside The Rock.
I don't think Roc Nation has done a thing for him. Roc Nation, the management company, by the way, he signed to Atlantic still, through Atlantic and through MMG. Roc Nation's done nothing for him. Let me tell you what a management company should be doing for you. Management company should be doing for you exactly what they're trying to do for Meg Thee Stallion. Have you seen Meg Thee Stallion on Roc Nation versus Meek Mill on Roc Nation? Meg Thee Stallion is getting every award, every commercial, every bag in terms of Fashion Nova. She got this collab, she got that collab, Louis, Gucci. Everybody wants to like do stuff with her. That's money that she's getting. She's getting these looks. And even in the midst of her going through this, very disgusting thing with, the whole thing with her Tory, which you can believe whatever way you want. The bags don't stop for Meg. Meg is good.
When Akademiks dug deeper into Megan's case with Tory, he found himself siding more and more on Tory Lanez's side. Before the trial, Akademiks interviewed Tory and even called him out for not defending himself enough online.
I talked to you a bunch of times privately, but I always said, why doesn't Tory just explain to everybody? Just tell people what really happened. Just speak to the people, because the narratives are starting to go against you now. The narratives are saying you're the bad guy.
And during the pre-trial hearing, Akademiks was the first person to speak about the inconsistencies of the DNA evidence on the gun. Akademiks tweeted, "It was revealed in court a few moments ago that Tory Lanez's DNA was not found on the weapon in the Meg Thee Stallion case. This post went viral. He broke this news, and Megan Thee Stallion responded with, 'I know some of y'all on payroll, but please don't get sued trying to create a hate campaign. Be a real journalist and post facts.' She also posted, 'Y'all trying to win a social media campaign? This is my real life. Y'all trying to get retweets spreading false narratives? Akademiks, why are you lying? What did you gain?' As it turned out, Akademiks wasn't lying. The DNA evidence on the gun was inconclusive, and ultimately, Tory Lanez was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Where Akademiks became a particular nuisance for Roc Nation was when he continued to claim that Tory was innocent after the trial, or at least suggest that the story wasn't all it was made to seem. As well as trying to poke holes in the case, he regularly raised questions about Megan's character. On one stream, he broke down how Megan got signed to Roc Nation from 1501 Entertainment. 1501 Entertainment was run by Carl Crawford, and this allegedly involved a man named T. Ferris double-crossing 1501's owner and former baseball player, Carl Crawford.
If you don't understand why him and Meg fell out, essentially, which this happens a lot in the music industry, this dude was cool with this other guy named T. Ferris, right? T. Ferris kind of becomes like her day-to-day type of person. He's the label manager, right? But him and T. Ferris are business partners. T. Ferris realizes, and this is what happens when a lot of people try to snake people out, it's like, yo, rather than get a fee here, yo, I could get more from Meg if I get Meg away from this and bring him somewhere else. I'll get a bigger role. That's where Roc Nation comes in. So T. Ferris pretty much kind of concocts, allegedly, a plan to get in between him and Meg, and then convince Meg that she's better off going to Roc Nation, right? And obviously Roc Nation is interested in just signing her directly, right? So this is what he's explaining. So basically it's his own homie that really slimed him out, you know what I mean? But this is the music industry. Your own friend will cut your throat.
And this is how Roc Nation signed several artists.
So Roc Nation started managing Uzi. They told him to leave DJ Drama and Don Cannon. That was their whole beef. Rock Nation start managing Bobby Shmurda. Tell him, yo, gotta get out of Epic Records. You gotta get over here. Rock Nation. Meg Thee Stallion. Yo, you gotta leave that bum that baseball player. Come over here.
Crawford has claimed that he spent $2 million on building Megan's career from nothing. She was from Houston, he was from Houston. But at one point, Megan stopped paying him. So this dispute had led to Crawford questioning whether Megan was really shot by Tory and supporting the alternative theory that it was Megan's friend Kelsey.
Like this girl Kelsey she had at a time when people was dying every 3 to 4 hours.
Chad, this is the same story I told you we keep hearing. She started talking to Tory. She catches COVID. She was moving around with Meg, though, right? At first, Meg is not sweating it. Okay, now talk to Tory. She catches COVID, goes back to Houston. Meg starts with Tory, and this is why Meg's whole team never knew about the whole thing with Tory, because Meg used to take private jets and sneak behind her assistants and other employees' backs, and even at times her security.
Alongside Megan, Ak has also covered some of the more salacious stories involving Jay-Z. In December of 2024, an explosive story alleged that Jay-Z had raped a 13-year-old at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. The Breakfast Club and many other news outlets were cautious about showing any support for this young girl or even addressing it. And Ak argued that this should be how news outlets covered every allegation against someone.
Diddy has 26 lawsuits. What's going to happen to him if he goes to jail in his criminal thing, which is only at this point based on Cassie. Some of them lawsuits going to get dismissed. It's inevitable. Some of those are going to be proven as make-believe. I know y'all are defending Jay-Z, but should those women who accuse Sean Combs that eventually get their lawsuits being dismissed as frivolous, should they go to jail too? Or do y'all just lump Sean Combs as, he guilty anyway? Because here's the thing. When y'all start standing up, you can't pick one to do it for. Pick all of them. Okay? And I'm glad that they're looking at it like this. But my only thing, that's why I'm playing it, y'all can't only say, we're going to look at this different this one time.
This case was dismissed, and coincidentally, a scandalous news story about the girl's lawyer Tony Busby emerged soon afterward, and Akademiks was quick to put 2 and 2 together.
TMZ, who historically reports on the likes of the Kardashians, Kanye's, they report on A-list celebrities, ran an article about Tony Busby being sued for giving a woman an STD. This lawyer is not a A-list celebrity. We don't got to do math here, people. Rock Nation planted this shit. Rock Nation got TMZ doing their work. We don't got to do too much math. TMZ is running an article about a lawyer, saying the lawyer, hey, what y'all talking about with Jay, the lawyer who sued Jay, he gave a bitch her, or I don't know, allegedly, or gave something. It just says venereal disease. I'm going to have to read I didn't actually pull the lawsuit, but it says some STD. When I seen this, I said, yo, Jay just turned the inquiry and the finger pointing at him, that now we looking at the lawyer as the creep.
In response, Akademiks jokingly apologized to Rock Nation.
Tory's my mans. I ain't gonna turn against Tory, but I got no more opinion on that, okay? Tory, you on your own. you on your own, Tony. Tory, you on your own, brother. Rock Nation is too goddamn powerful. I'm just bowing out. I'm just gonna check out Eyepiece. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Yo, Jay, see you at the brunch, gang. I'm sorry. Y'all ain't, nah. See you at the brunch, gang. I'm sorry. Chat, don't act different when I'm at the brunch. Sorry, okay?
The Rock Nation brunch was a highly exclusive event which usually took place before the Grammys. Gilly, who was also mentioned on this freestyle, explained to Shannon Sharp how many people view this event.
See, you gotta understand. I'm this man, right? They call us, right? They say, Gilly, we want to invite you to the Rock Nation brunch. I'm the that said, why would I want to come? Why wouldn't you want to come? I said, you want me to keep it real with you, or you want me to lie to you? Keep it a buck. I said, the Rock Nation brunch ain't of nothing but Jay-Z putting a bunch of on the lawn and then going in the back door and saying, I told you I still run this. Give me the money.
Wow.
You think I'm letting her use my brand?
Akademiks also spoke out about Jay-Z's name appearing in the Epstein files and how Jay-Z was once again immediately deemed innocent.
You ever see the Kendrick fans when, like, you defend Drake? They're like, of course you would defend a PDF. You probably weird too. I wonder if those people are going to take the same type of thing about Jay-Z. Is anyone who would maybe look at this and say, nah, I need more info about it, whatever. Are they defending Jay-Z or what? So
ultimately, you could argue that Jay-Z and Roc Nation aren't aware or simply don't care about Akademiks, the biggest platform in hip-hop media. But in 2025 and in 2026, there's an abundance of evidence which suggests that they view Akademiks and his entire team as a very serious threat. In October of 2024, Megan filed a defamation lawsuit against the blogger Milagro Grams. As part of this lawsuit, Roc Nation subpoenaed Akademiks, alongside Aiden Ross and several others, to a deposition in August of 2025. During this call, Akademiks was asked why he still thought Tory was innocent.
What's your basis to believe that he was wrongfully convicted?
The basis would be, I sat through and watched, in hip hop, I cover the majority of trials and the majority of cases. And I not only have to do that, clearly I'm not a lawyer, you are, but I review all of these details, court transcripts of all these testimonies. And I thought the burden of proof was on the prosecutor to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Tory Lanez was not only in possession of a weapon, but shot Miss Pete. And I had a lot of doubt. There was a lot of doubt that I thought was more than reasonable. So under that premise, I don't see, or I couldn't stand behind a decision to put somebody in jail for 10 years when there's more than what I believe is reasonable doubt that he didn't commit these crimes. So,
and even though this was a lawsuit between Megan and Milagro, Ak was suspiciously asked about other artists.
I've never been paid to promote Drake, which trust me, I'm not that happy about it. Okay, maybe my blind loyalty prevents me from getting that money. Anyway, never with Drake and never with Nicki, even though I wish I did.
Later that year, Roc Nation allegedly took things much further. Akademiks claimed that Roc Nation had hired private investigators to stalk and follow both himself and his team. Grand Wizard, who runs the Akademiks TV account and has been Akademiks' right-hand man for nearly 10 years now, had leaked a telephone call where it appears that a private investigator was outside his home in Melbourne, Australia.
Do you know who you're talking to?
You flew 14 hours though. You obviously, I have a big castle in Melbourne. Why would I not stay at the big castle in Melbourne? I have a big castle in Canada, Y'all
gotta, whoever the private investigator is, y'all went to the wrong place, wrong continent. Maybe it's because I'm friends with 6ix9ine, but it's in Canada. Y'all gotta get there.
And in April 2026, Ak and his team received several copyright strikes, all of which came from videos which spoke unfavorably about Jay-Z's interview with GQ.
Hey, chat, there's some very interesting going on. I got one for y'all here. We're gonna have to be careful in covering this. I don't know if I told you. I don't like considering it war, but it kind of does feel like it's war with Roc Nation at this point. Roc Nation issued about 10 strikes to affiliated and platforms and assets that are either directly controlled by me or the brand or affiliates recently, because we had some really, I don't think it's scathing comments, but we were skeptical about Jay-Z and we criticized the interview. Now you could say this is just, coincidental, but we got about like 10 strikes. Okay? I could even show you proof of the strikes. They actually claim that they represent Jay-Z. And it was an interesting way how they sent the strikes, because they claim they bought an exclusive license to like a picture that everybody uses as Jay. And I guarantee they didn't try to flag or make strikes against everybody who used that picture. But clearly, they're trying to, Roc Nation is such a slimy place, right?
More recently, Akademiks has complained that he and his team members continue to be stalked.
In the last few days, I have gotten, and it can't be towards me, but it is in a roundabout way trying to threaten the people around me. There's people outside supposed Grand Wizard's house taking random pictures of him. Oh, we got the pictures now. They've been circulating these pictures. There's people harassing,
you know, some of the people who do memes and stuff like that, and who clip for us, go into their houses, their girlfriends, mamas. And at first I was like, all right, you know, I'm the public guy. Like, you know, I want all the smoke. You come over here, you gonna meet 4 Rottweilers and 50 guns. But people, they don't mess with me. So I was like, what's going on here? But everybody around me start getting targeted. It's kind of interesting. I got told recently that there's a ongoing dossier that was paid for and financed. Paid for and financed. That all of the stalking, the this, that, and third, and a lot of frivolous lawsuits said, Milagro, maybe you were part of it too, or maybe you're also on the list of, and I want to keep this again. By the way, Barbs to Nikki, make sure your queen is safe. I hear they are stalking and they took pictures of all of the people outside of their premises. Yes, I looked at pictures of what they claim is Grand Wizard outside of his house. They took his paparazzi. It's crazy.
While all of this was kicking off, Akademiks received a very interesting call from Charlemagne.
Shout out my man Charlemagne. He gave me a call. He said, Act, this was going around. I seen it. So what? Where'd it come from? I don't know. Oh, okay. Charlotte, if I wasn't supposed to air you out on that, it's okay. But listen, I got to get to the bottom of this. I hear Laura LaRosa got it in the background. What Laura LaRosa got? What? Then I hear, oh, you got like one of the stooges that was on this show and then this other guy that don't like you. And I'm like, what's going on here? Now, like for anything, I like to address things head on. But with that, you know, I don't like doing proxy wars. I like to just kick it off. I tell all y'all eat it straight up. All y'all eat it. Y'all ain't stopping nothing. All y'all can eat it. When there is entities that's plotting against me, don't be the messenger. You either with me or against me. No DJ Khaled around my book.
And in response, Akademiks declared war on all of hip-hop media.
Yesterday, not going to lie, I was saddened. Unfortunately, I had to declare war on the entire hip-hop media. It's not necessarily me, but I had to take the gloves off. My team, my people, at the end of the day, I got to pick who's aligned with me, and the people who rock with me, they're the people I got to protect. They've been targeted. So we don't know about who. We going to find out at some point. And I've been kind of holding them back for the majority part for almost a year. Keep in mind, these are, if y'all think I'm nasty, these people are worse. Birds of a feather, right? So, yeah, it was kind of saddening yesterday because, with the constant harassment that's been coming towards the team for like damn near a year, I had to tell him, I said, listen, the gloves is off. Do what y'all got to do. You know what I mean? If whoever, and I don't know who it is, if they not playing fair, let's make sure we don't play fair. So I was very saddened yesterday. Actually, that's probably one of the reasons I probably didn't stream. I was a little bit sad. And I was just like, because I would rather not get to the point, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, sometimes you got to burn down the whole building to figure out what the source of the issue was.
Ak and his team have since posted heavily about Charlemagne's SA case, which he pled to lesser charges back in 2001. Around the same time, Ak reacted to Jay-Z's freestyle and compared Jay-Z's features on Drake records to that of Lil Twist.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I never thought Jay-Z gave a motherfucking thing to Drake's songs. Every time he came on, it was always like when Lil Twist came on the record. I was like, what the f*** is this, bro? I never liked none of them records. Not one. Listen, I like Jay by himself. I never like, anytime I've heard Jay-Z's voice come on a Drake record, I'm like, what the f***, bro? Two different lanes for me. Two different lanes. Just two different lanes. I'm not saying Jay-Z's completely whack, but I've never liked none of these joints.
This freestyle, however, confirmed Ak's biggest suspicions about Jay-Z and Charlemagne. When Roc Nation were intimidating him, Ak asked Charlemagne if Jay was involved, and this is how Charlemagne responded.
It's like, yo, Jay's like Lil Wayne. Jay's so high up, he don't know what's going on. He wouldn't know. You think he cares about like a Drake issue, whatever going on with you? Jay's too high up. He's too high up. He just wouldn't know. And I'm like, well, I'm not saying like Jay-Z maybe is doing everything, but I think he's knowledgeable of what's going on out here. It's like, nah, Jay's in another world. He's like Wayne. He don't know what's going on. It's like, yo, even Drake thinking that. I said, really? Now, either Charlemagne was misinformed or he just lied. Because I listened to this freestyle and he was in tune with everything going on.
But if Jay-Z was in tune with everything going on, as evidenced by this freestyle, why was Akademiks never name-dropped? The answer to this may lie in what happened in April of 2024. During the beef between Kendrick and Drake, Ak was one of the most important side character. Initially, he was sampled on Drake's song Push-Ups.
Wait, no way I'm on the song. Am I on the song? Nah, I'm not on the song. I swear I'm on the song. Maybe that was on soundboard.
Drop and give me 50, y'all teaming up.
Yo, I said all this blindly because I know my favorite artist. That Kendrick, I've heard that smoking on your top 5. I think it was on crack when he said that shit.
And later on in the beef, Kendrick dissed Ak on the song 616 in LA, where he said, "I can see the vibes on Ak, even he looking compromised." To which Ak responded,
"How am I compromised? Why you say me for?"
But this diss had the opposite effect that was intended. Instead of being an insult of any kind, this became more of a badge of honor. Akademiks was in the middle of arguably the biggest beef back and forth of two rappers since Tupac and Biggie, and he was mentioned by both of them. Charlemagne spoke to Ak and said that this diss was a vindication of his place in hip-hop.
I think it's going to really shift how people perceive you. Because even with me, I think most of your audience, they come to you for those music takes. When you're doing the music breakdowns and, you taking us into the world of what's going on musically and in the culture, I think that's what people come to you for. Even if you go back to those, those War and Chiracs, that's essentially what that was. That's what that was as well. If people were really paying attention to it and can get past the sensationalization of it all. But I think it's a good place for you.
Shortly after the beef ended, Akademiks was ranked number 1 on Complex's hip-hop media power rankings. In 2025, Akademiks was runner-up to Kai Cenat, but was ranked number 1 again in 2026. And Jay-Z might have learned his lesson from his beef with 50 Cent. In 2003, he responded to a diss from 50 Cent with "I'm about $1, who the F is 50 Cent?" And 50 Cent has credited this line with him getting his first play on the radio. Instead, Jay might have done something similar with the song Otis, where he took shots at Cameron, and only Cameron knew that he was taking shots at him. A potential shot that Jay may have taken against Akademiks is where this freestyle was performed.
Yeah, so, hopefully we're going to give you the entertainment and having the time with you guys.
3 years earlier, Akademiks famously had an embarrassing moment at the Roots picnic. And because Akademiks is always focusing on numbers, there was no shortage of people who wanted to make fun of him for this clip.
And with DJ Akademiks kind of always being that guy that's known to clown people when they do flop, and he's also the guy who has a lot of personal beefs in both the hip-hop and just internet space in general, people found this lack of a crowd at his show to be absolutely hilarious.
Interestingly, Jay-Z also invited Meek Mill onto the stage. Meek is known for his long-standing beef with Drake, but this was patched up years ago in 2018. Akademiks, though, has also had a long-standing beef with Meek Mill, which goes back to 2017.
Well, Meek, he didn't appreciate I didn't post his album. However, it was really confusing to me because like about 6 months ago, Meek had sent me a DM, him and the rest of the Chasers. They gave me a little digital jumping, a light one. They said, listen, either post this way or don't post this at all, right? Next thing I'm seeing, they were like threatening me. When I see him, I'm gonna give him a wedgie, I'm gonna slap him. I'm like, oh, I think I'm posting him wrong, so I stopped posting him. So I guess album promo time. He's looking around. Of course, I've supported Tyler's album, Nav's album, and he's like, where's the Chasers post? And I've just been consistent for the last 6 months. So I didn't know why he was surprised I didn't post his album, but he clearly wanted me to post his album. I felt like Wale though. I felt like he was getting at me like I was Wale. I'm not an MMG, and also I don't think it was that serious where he has 11 million followers. Man, I have a page with like 500,000. Who cares if I post it, right?
And this bad blood hasn't gone away since, although there have been moments where they seem to have patched things up, but they're definitely not on great terms. At best, you could consider it cordial terms.
Now we realize Meek Mill is as 50 says, a special type of stupid. Like literally, anybody could have defeated him. I defeated him on Twitter, he just blocked me. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's so dumb. He's one of the few people that you're like, maybe we gave Drake too much credit for beating this guy. This guy beat himself. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, that's how dumb he is. Like, put it like this. And I even thought about it. If I was Meek Mill, there's a possibility if you know, you take, like, Meek Mill has a remedial, like, you know, slower person's brain. If you put an actual 9-year-old, you know what I mean, able-bodied kid brain in there, he might have beaten Drake.
So Meek Mill's presence, whether it was intentional or not, was surely to annoy Akademiks. But you could easily cover it under the fact that, well, the Roots picnic is in Philadelphia and Meek Mill's one of the biggest Philly rappers of all time. So there's always that backdoor or plausible deniability that Jay leaves himself. And Jay has learned that in hip-hop beefs, sometimes less is more. On his 2001 song Takeover, Jay spent most of the song taking shots at Nas, followed by Prodigy and Mobb Deep, both of whom were worthy of his attention. However, towards the end of the song, Jay raps, "And all you other cats throwing shots at Jigga, you only get half a bar. F y'all." And the fact that Akademiks doesn't even get half a bar is as disrespectful as a diss that he could ever get.